Hey all, and welcome back to Kingdom Hearts Final Mix. It's the beginning of the end, y'all, but I guess Spa decided we had a few loose ends to tie up in Traverse Town first. So what are we? Oh, you're going towards the Dalmatian house. I get it now.
Yes, I wanted to show off the scene for getting all 99 of the Dalmatian puppies, because I imagine a lot of people probably don't include this in Let's Plays, so I thought it would be really cool to show off.
Well, you know, maybe they should have thought twice before adopting this many puppies. I don't see any of the humans around. How are they paying for all of this?
I am currently being attacked by my cat in the midst of all these puppies.
Ironic. One of my favourite parts of the Only Players run of this game is where they're like, can you imagine the mess that even 10 puppies would cause?
Yeah, Jesus Christ. Our one cat can make quite a mess, so I really can't even imagine this at all.
Oh, good lord. You know, it would have been cool if we got a summon where, like, all Dalmatians just come out and rush the enemy.
I remember there was a computer game for 101 Dalmatians that had, like, a minecart section or something. That's so ingrained in my memory, and I don't really remember where it's from. Because I think I used to play it on my dad's computer at his day job. I would go there, like, on off days from school or whatever, and play, like, the Toy Story computer game and the 101 Dalmatians game.
Interesting.
I might be remembering something from the movie, because I think that was a thing in one of the live-action movies.
Not watched the live-action movie in so long, and I definitely haven't watched Cruella either. Who knows, maybe if there's like another Disney font, we'll have to include that, just so, you know, we can get the girl boss, gatekeep, gaslight kind of experience.
I feel like if you guys do another Disney-thon, and I say you guys because I'm not particularly great with movie commentaries, but if you guys end up doing another one, you're gonna have like 3 months of stuff to go through because there's so many Disney movies now.
Really, like Turning Red, Luca, stuff like that really. Soul as well, I would probably include Soul.
A whole bunch of stuff announced yesterday at the D23 Expo. I'm actually pretty excited for Inside Out too.
Yes, Inside Out, originally done in, I think the second, yeah, it would have been the second Disney film. Not only one of my favourite Disney movies, that is also one of my favourite movie commentaries that I've done, because it was a very personal movie to me, and I guess it just unlocked a certain part of my brain in which I was able to just speak freely. Why are you glowing with the power of evil and mint?
Well, as one of the chipmunks back there, I didn't pay attention to which one it was.
Who cares?
One of them mentioned we have the shield gummy, because if you speed through this particular gummy fruit with the haste gummy, you'll actually run into a whole bunch of stuff and die.
Ah.
And again, this is something that I imagine people don't show off in Let's Plays, so hey, another cool thing that's probably maybe unique to us.
Hell yes, Bar. Strut your stuff, darling. Strut it. As you can see, these things, zebra stripes, kind of foreshadowing Xemnas' crazy costume change at the end of 2.
I guess if you want to go there. There are a lot of new gummy enemies in the Final Mix version. I'm pretty sure people don't like those. The red ones definitely weren't there in the original KH1. The zebra pattern ones might have been there.
Now, what is this, the end of the world specifically? Like, it says end of the world, but which world was it the end of?
I think it's just the end of all worlds, because it does kind of connect to Kingdom Hearts.
Is that all that's left of the worlds taken by the Heartless?
As Goofy is here saying, what's left of the worlds taken by the Heartless, which is odd because the only stuff we ever see here is worlds that we have seen in-game which have not been taken over by the Heartless. So I guess that's a separation of gameplay and story that's going on.
So essentially they took all the negative space from the worlds and put them into one place.
I guess that's a good way to look at it, yeah.
But no worries.
This is the start of, like, Goofy the Scholar, Goofy the Sage, the Wise Man. Comes to, like, its apex in the second game.
I just know that we will.
Goofy is honestly just kind of a beacon of light, to use an overused phrase that's already in the series. He's just, like, such a great character in Kingdom Hearts that's just always fun to see on screen.
Well, gosh, maybe I'm the child of Destiny. It wasn't Zay at all. It wasn't Sora, it was me all along.
So we fought a behemoth last time, and we're going to fight a few more in this one. I actually forgot that this particular encounter is just normal Heartless, so screw me.
Well, whatever. It's coming up, so you were technically right. The best kind of right. But I guess it's a lot of this part is just going to be, like, stuff we've seen before. Why don't we continue that trend and talk about stuff we've seen before, but I'm going to frame it a little bit differently. What is your favourite finale in the Kingdom Hearts franchise, Mo?
I don't know. I would probably have to give it to either 2 or, and this one's going to throw you for a loop, Recoded. The Roxas fight in Recoded is actually really, really good. And I consider that the finale because it is the thing right before the credits.
Fair enough. Do you have any reasons why besides that fight?
I like Recoded as just a character study of Sora. Obviously, the character in that game is Data Sora, but it is literally a copy of Sora as he was on Destiny Islands and forced to go through a new adventure. And so you see how Sora reacts to all the things that have happened in the series without having gone through them. And I think it's just a really good look at him as a character and the way he's grown and will grow in the future. And that's why I think Recoded as a standalone story is good as a character study, even though it adds basically nothing to the overall, like, story of KH as it is.
Well, I mean, the data world is kind of important, because I think there were, like, 4 of the true darknesses trapped in there. This is getting into mobile game stuff, so I'm not surprised you don't know what the fuck I'm talking about.
We didn't even get a chance to talk about that, but that behemoth is dead.
Yeah, he's not as strong as his older brother, is he?
I think these are classified as a normal enemy and not a boss, and that's why Gravity rips through its health so much. Because Gravity does different things to normal enemies and bosses depending on how much HP they have. The Trinity Loom that I used back there was actually an accident, if I recall correctly from my recording. What I meant to do was press the triangle button to get Donald and Goofy to attack, and because I had Trinity Limit equipped, it used that instead. But hey, I got to show it off, so who cares?
There you go. Alright, the 13 original Darknesses, also referred to as True Darkness, are a group of characters introduced in Kingdom Hearts Union Cross who possess a history of the Master of Masters. Darkness is an ancient entity locked in eternal battle with the light. While they originally possessed physical forms, they currently exist without a body, so instead seek out hearts to inhabit. Of the 13, one's whereabouts are unknown following the destruction of Daybreak Town, 4 are trapped inside dated Daybreak Town, and the rest reside in the hearts of Ventus, the 5 Foretellers, Lushu, and the Master of Masters. There is also kind of a running theory going, which I think Dark Road might heavily support, that Vanitas is actually one of these true darknesses, because if you remember, in Kingdom Hearts 3, when Ventus asks him, so you're just darkness? And he just replies, what I am is darkness.
Okay. Yeah, I can see that. I've said this many times already in this playthrough, I really need to sit through the story of those games so that I can catch up on all the lore. Boy, I remember when the browser/mobile games were supposed to not be canon, by the way.
Was that ever said, or was that just something assumed?
I seem to recall it being said, but of course I don't have a source, and this was also like 10 years ago, so who knows?
Yeah, there's a lot of misinformation about Kingdom Hearts because, well, wouldn't you know it, guys, it's been going for 20 fucking years, there's bound to be some stuff that slips through the cracks.
So that drop that I got right there is a Gale, which is a very rare, well, pretty rare synthesis item,
Yes,
and you get another one from completing that right there, so I just got 2 back to back.
Wait for it. Oh fuck, not this again.
It's literally just the same behemoth that we fought a minute ago. You could tell it's a normal enemy because gravity shreds like half a health bar when you start on it.
Jesus Christ. So there's like, suddenly Behemoth, who's the eldest. Then we have, surprise, Behemoth, and then, Behemoth as the youngest.
I think the normal enemies, not to ruin your joke, the normal enemies are just called Behemoth, and I think the boss enemy is called an Arch-Behemoth. And I'm not sure if that distinction exists in the original game. That might be a Final Mix thing.
First of all, very generous of you to refer to what I said as a joke. Second of all, quite interesting. I'm going to look that up. Arch-Behemoth. Yeah, Arch-Behemoth.
I think they have different, like, rare drops that you can get. You can get another Omega Arts accessory to drop from the Arch-Behemoth, which I think I did happen to get in one of my recording sessions, but I don't think I was able to use it because of some other reason, which was very unfortunate.
Okay, the blue ones are Arch-Behemoths.
Yes, okay.
Ooh, Meteor Strike.
Very good weapon for Donald. I don't remember specifically what it does, but it's probably better than what I have equipped on him.
I don't know, I kind of like his current stuff. It's like something out of Card Captors.
I believe it's the rare drop that you get from the Wizard Heartless to match with, Goofy's Defender Shield. I happened to get that off-screen, like, in between recordings,
Fair
which
enough.
is cool.
Alright, going back to finales for a second. Would you say Recoded is your favorite, or is it just in the top 3?
I would say it's in the top 3. I would say my top 3 is going to be KH2, this game, and Recoded. Just because this one's really iconic, 2 is just really fun, and Recoded just has a lot of stuff that I really like.
Okay. I would say top 3. Ooh, this is tough because there are a lot of Kingdom Hearts games. I guess I'll just choose one out of order. I am going to pick the other DS game. Kingdom Hearts 358 over 2 days. Now, you've heard me criticize the game before for its pacing and its kind of clunky gameplay, but the end game is so good that the game just goes up a full point or two in my estimation every time I play it. Because you have the whole climax with Shion and Roxas, and who else will I eat ice cream with? Silly line. Makes a lot of sense in context. And then you have I'm done with this as Roxas' final entry in his diary. And then the showdown with Riku and whatnot. And maybe now I'll finally hit the beach. It just hits every emotional note that I wanted. Plus it's just a really great string of boss fights and cutscenes.
It really is, and it also starts off with Roxas leaving the world that never was and kicking Syax's ass.
Yes.
Which is just hilarious.
I was going to say, because that's not adapted in the actual movie they put on the collection, so a lot of people might not know about that.
Is it not? That's so strange. Yeah, Days is actually a really good pick. Despite all of its problems, it does have a really strong finale.
I like Kingdom Hearts 3's endgame, but I would have preferred... I don't know. Like, I don't mind the boss fights being done in, like, teams, because you get an AI partner to help you. But it loses a bit of the appeal that Kingdom Hearts 2's finale had. Plus, I don't think the Keyblade Graveyard is nearly as interesting a place as, the castle in the world that never was. Ironically enough, because there's so much more history in the former.
Right, but we just don't get that history in KH3, unfortunately.
No. There are pacing issues in 3. Like, if there was, like, a mid-game climax, I feel that would have helped things better. And, don't backload all the stuff, like, story-wise, but I still like it. It doesn't make my top 3, though. I think I would go with Days, KH1, and then KH2 Final Mix. It's just... Again, the emotional highs, I'm not sure are as high as Days, but everything else, like gameplay-wise, cinematography-wise, for lack of a better word, it's just iconic in every sense of the word, and I hope that 4 can reach those heights.
Almost every finale of a Kingdom Hearts game is iconic in some way. As much as this game has its jank, it is iconic, and you will always remember it. This is a game that I will remember until my dying breath, no matter if I never play it again.
Oh, Say, fellas, does someone mention the Door to Darkness? My final words. Goodbye.
So the area that we're going through now is called the World Terminus, and you're basically going through all the worlds that you went through before. You can actually bypass any of these that you sealed the keyhole for, because there are a few optional worlds, and if you don't happen to do those, you have to do these areas. I, of course, have done all the worlds in this playthrough, but I figured showing these off is going to be a lot more entertaining than just running forward for 3 minutes straight.
I guess you've got a point there, Spur. Something that just come to mind, I can understand the Dalmatians having, like, toy blocks, the gummy pieces. Not so much the Yaroga, like the third highest level air magic possible.
You can actually get those out of order if you, for whatever reason, happen to get the Dalmatians reward first, before getting the Yellow Trinity that's in Neverland, where the arrow magic is just in a treasure chest.
Right.
You will actually get the second level from the Dalmatians, and then the third level from the chest, so it doesn't matter which order you get them in the right order. Which is a very weird sentence, but I think you understand what I mean.
I partially understood what you were trying to say. Man, imagine if there was like a Sultan mini-boss here. Like, you're too late, Sora. All the NPCs are gone, and now my father's gone as well.
Can you guess where the treasure chest that we need to grab in here is?
It's up here.
Yeah, it's way at the top. Very easy to miss if you don't know about these platforms.
Well, there was one treasure chest that you just kept running past in Hollow Bastion. Did you ever go back and get that?
I'm not actually sure which one you're referring to.
Oh, you'll see it. You'll see it when the videos go live.
Oh, okay. If I recall correctly, in the original KH1, all of these chests in the World Terminus gave copies of accessories that you picked up from boss fights and stuff in each world, so you could get copies of some really good accessories, and I think they changed that in Final Mix because that's just a little bit overpowered, I guess, and so now they pretty much all give like synth items and stuff like that.
That's very much like a first game syndrome sort of thing. You're getting, like, all the elements that it took to create Kingdom Hearts were already crazy to begin with. So the fact that it wasn't as finely tuned as Final Mix, I can kind of forgive, you know?
KH1 Final Mix doesn't have a lot of additional content compared to like what KH2 Final Mix has,
right,
or even Birth by Sleep, which has an entire extra story. This one, there's not like any extra content aside from items mostly and a few cutscenes. That's really about it. And I guess the new abilities, which are really cool. But honestly, as a Final Mix, it kind of pales in comparison to stuff like 2 and BBS.
Would you say it's worth it to play this over the original, though?
Absolutely, yes. Not to mention just the fact that you don't have to play on a PS2, being the main thing, I would say. The abilities do add quite a lot to the gameplay to make it more fun overall and just add a lot of options to the combat. And also you get level 1 XP0 on Proud Mode if you really want that challenge, which is not for me.
Like, can you imagine in KH4 if, like, the Proud Mode, like, let you play as the Proud family?
Didn't they have a Keyblade in one of the new Proud Family series episodes?
I think they did, yeah.
Yeah, so, I mean, it's a thing. It could happen.
We're going to Quadratum, which is the real world, so does Penny Proud and Oscar Proud and Sugar Mama exist in the real world? Who knows?
I still like the theory that because Quadratum is the real world, the worlds that we're going to there are going to be the live-action adaptations. And I say I like that theory because I hate that theory.
You know, I wouldn't be against that per se, but I reckon we're going to get just more stuff that leans towards live action rather than the live action remakes. Like, say, we're all but guaranteed to get a Star Wars world. I still buy into that theory 100%.
That's not even really a theory. That's just kind of a thing that was in the trailer. It's not clear, but I'm pretty sure that's what it is.
And funnily enough, 40 minutes from when we're recording this on September 10th, it's currently 5:20 in the afternoon. The D23 Expo for Marvel and Lucasfilm is taking place, so maybe we'll see some more of Mando. It would be really cool if it wasn't Return of the Jedi being repped in Kingdom Hearts 4, but maybe The Mandalorian?
That would be really cool. I think that would be a good story to, like, adapt, more so than any of the Star Wars movies, because they kind of have their own thing, and it's not like Sora and company have never, like, stepped on toes when they're introduced into stuff beforehand, but yeah.
Grogu Cas Graviga. Oh hey, it's that thing that Kyrie was put in Melody of Memory and sent to Destiny Islands.
Right, I don't think I end up turning the camera to look at it, but this is that room, yeah.
This also shows up in Union Cross, I believe. These are the arcs, or just the arc itself, which allows them to, like, go between the data world and the real world. I'm not entirely up to date on my mobile game lore, so you'll have to forgive me if I got any of that wrong.
Ah, interesting. Alright. Yeah, you can see sort of the capsules that they had probably people in there with the Heartless emblem on them. Alright, and now that we've gone through all of that, we have a boss fight, which, one thing that is changed in Final Mix is this fight has new music. I think this had a very generic theme in the original KH1, or maybe it was in the original Japanese version, and they changed it when it came west.
Yeah, I think that might be the case, because I definitely remember Night on Bald Mountain playing when I played it back on the PS2.
11-year-old me, or however old I was when I played this game, had no idea what this thing was. I just thought this was a big Heartless. I did not know what Chernabog was in the slightest.
Well, if he was a Heartless, he would be a pureblood, because I don't see no emblem there.
This is true, but I mean, so are the Invisibles. I could have thought he was just a big Invisible, so...
True. So yeah, Chernabog from Disney's Fantasia. He is the big bad of the whole... I'm not sure if the short is just called Night on Bald Mountain, or if that's just like the song, or the song might be in the Hall of the Mountain King. I don't know. I'm getting all my stuff mixed up. But this is one of those neat surprises that KH1 brought to the table, because this, and I think Nightmare Before Christmas, was stuff that really shocked people. They weren't expecting this sort of thing.
Yeah, for sure. Sadly, the boss fight isn't really much to speak home about, mainly because I'm a bit over-leveled, but also kind of just because there's not really much to it. He doesn't really react to your attacks at all. You're kind of just sitting here wailing on him while he does his own thing.
Okay, so yeah. Night on Bald Mountain / Ave Maria. Because obviously Fantasia is songs, essentially, with some animation backing. So the titles of the sequences are just the name of the song.
I really like that shot where he starts his fire attack as he's dying. It's just really cool.
Now, I did that without Eroga back in the day. Sure didn't do it on my first go, I can tell you that.
Yeah, this was another one of those fights where I would just hang back and tell Donald and Goofy to go hit him because I was so scared of that fire attack.
Really? You want me to go punch Satan in the face? Alright. Oh yeah, Super Glide.
Yep, Super Glide is a little bit faster, and that's really about it. You probably fall a bit less while gliding than with the regular one, but for our purposes here, we mainly care about the speed.
Indeedy so. You know, I just now noticed that you're using Oblivion. Thank you, Spur.
I think I did mention that during our recording of Part 16, that I was going to use it this time, despite the fact that I talked about how it was nerfed in this game. I think it's the same strength, but they lowered the, bonus damage that you get on crits, which was one of the highest in the entire game. Definitely one of the highest that you can have at this point in the game is Oblivion, and they nerfed that, which really just makes Divine Rose that much better because it's higher strength and doesn't take your magic away. But you know, Oblivion's just... we keep saying this word, but it is iconic. That's just the word of the playthrough, I guess.
There you go. This makes, what, 4 Behemoths now?
I think so, yeah. This is definitely at least the third of these blue ones that we've had to take down.
There he goes. More EXP for me, I guess. This is another infamous part of KH1. The final gauntlet. Heartless are just going to keep coming and coming. And for every, squadron we take down, another part of this barrier, I guess, will be destroyed. But enough of that twaddle. Now it's time to summon the most powerful summon known to mankind.
We're going to see Mushu here because I wanted to show him off. He's not great. I think I mentioned before that you really need to use the XP0 bug glitch exploit thing to really get that much use out of him, but he's fine for shredding these, normal enemies, I guess.
He's like the most cartoony thing in the game so far.
I wouldn't call him a turret because you can move around, but he is just kind of an auto-fire thing. Sadly, because he deals fire damage, you can't actually use him on the Behemoths because those are resistant to elemental damage.
Ah, okay. I gotta say, I think Invisibles might be my favorite Heartless.
They are a super cool Heartless design. I can't remember what the symbol on their sword means. I've heard it before and I just can't recall it off the top of my head. Honestly, just so cool all the way around.
Invisible, Kingdom Hearts. That's why I have the wiki up. The stronger red-coloured version of these are called Ogres, by the way.
Ah, okay. I think those appear in Days, I want to say?
Their scalloped blue-bladed swords appear blunt at first glance, but can unleash powerful physical blows. Written near the golden hilt on the blade are the kanji for hard shell.
Ah, okay. Not really sure what that really means, but anyway, more Simba.
Ah, indeed. Alright, that reminds me, also at D23, they announced a live-action Lion King prequel about Mufasa. It's called Mufasa the Lion King, funnily enough.
Huh. I mean, I saw that announcement, but I didn't think it was a live-action thing. For some reason, I thought they were doing more animation stuff.
No, I guess not, but, we mentioned Inside Out briefly. It's going to be following Riley again. I would have liked an anthology series where each episode follows, a new person, and, we see inside their head, but a sequel following established characters is fine, especially since it's essentially the puberty arc.
I was thinking, when you originally mentioned your idea for the anthology series, I was thinking something like what they did for the Osmosis Jones TV series, Ozzy and Drix, where it went to, an entirely new character. I was thinking it would be something like that, but I guess not.
Without the body hopping, I hope.
Right, yeah. That's the final rest done. A very infamous section for speedrunners, because there's just a lot of enemies and you don't have a lot of resources to reuse, except when you're doing an LP like this and you can stack your party with Mega Elixirs.
Beautiful. Huh? What's wrong? Donald.
Oh my god.
Please stop. We're at the precipice of darkness itself. We don't need you encouraging the demons inside.
Is this Mickey able to talk to him because we're so close to the realm of darkness?
I can only assume so, because who else would it be?
Yeah, I mean, the other option is that it's Ventus, I guess, speaking from within Sora's heart.
Dude, shut up. I'm kind of in the middle of something here.
Well, time to get to the endgame.
Indeed, we'll see you next time for the finale of KH Final Mix.